Hello there, and welcome to More Movies Weekly number 8, The Hateful Eight.
Got room for one more?
Well, here we are again. My name's Greg Fisher. His name's Dave Roberts. And if you've joined us before, welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. We talk about movies, we talk about all sorts. We like to have some fun. Do we not, Dave?
We do. We like to get tucked into it, have some fun, have some groovy.
Have some groovy. Have you ever had some groovy? Well, you're going to get it today with More Movies Weekly. This week we've been watching a great 70s film called The Friends of Eddie Coyle, starring Robert Mitchum. There was a 1973 release, I believe, directed by Peter Yates. Also stars Richard Jordan and a few other notable faces, like that guy from The Godfather, you know the one? Mo Green.
Do you know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
What did you think of this film, Dave?
Yeah, it's great. It's a really great film. I mean, I'll start off by saying the best thing about the film was to see Woolworths on screen. We miss it dearly. It's there
Us
in the
Northerners, we really miss Woolworths, especially at Christmas.
Yeah, great film.
Yeah.
It's definitely a film that's very fatalistic.
You're telling me, yeah, big time.
It's so gritty. It's such a neo-noir kind of feeling film that there's no, nothing's going to end up well for anyone in the film.
It's classic 70s fare in that sense, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And
I mean, over the last 12 months or so, I've been catching up on a lot of the 70s films I'd never seen before. Because
yes.
I always tell people that's my favorite era of cinema. That's my favorite decade, say from 68 till 82. You just can't really do any wrong with New Hollywood, etc. Some great American independent cinema then. But there was lots of holes and there still is, I suppose, in my, in what I've seen in my back catalogue there. So, I've managed to catch up on things like last year was The Last Detail. You can check out my review for that on the website, moremovies.co.uk, link below in the description. Also The Conversation, same again for that. So there's a couple of them I started to catch up on. The Friends of Eddie Coyle was one of them. So I was like, let's get hold of this. Let's watch it. Let's see what all the fuss is about. And you're absolutely right. It's completely, fatalistic. Everybody's going to end up in a bad way, one way or another.
Yeah.
It's the 70s, man, Nobody survived, right?
that's it. But that's what makes it interesting, isn't it? Because it's that kind of... You'd moved away from... By the time you get to the 70s, I think with Hollywood, you'd moved away from the happy ending, classical fairy tale Hollywood.
Yeah.
Although you had noir, of course.
Sure.
But generally speaking, the mainstream cinema was... very happy-go-lucky, and as you say, when we get into the 70s and the new wave and stuff, it's very much more dark and gritty and
realism's kicking in, and yeah. I mean, one of the things that prompted me to watch this one in particular, of all the ones we've got to work through from the 70s that we haven't seen, was a video from a friend of ours that we are friends with on Twitter and on YouTube called Cinema Cities. Go and check them out. We'll put a link to their YouTube channel below as well. But they did an absolutely fantastic video about Boston because that's where it's based. Like most of these films, it's always New York or LA. They're the two main cities that we usually have these stories in. But that's one of the great unique parts about Eddie Coyle is that it's in Boston. So, you got this bank robbery scenario going on. So it was reminding me of things like Dog Day Afternoon. We've got the bank robbery great scenario job there. And we've also got things like Charlie Varick, which is another one we've got to see yet. We haven't actually seen that, but I do know about it. And I understand that's quite a lot to do with bank robberies and stuff. You also got other things like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, which I've got to get you to watch as well soon because that's amazing. But yeah, I like these kind of crime films where, it's the old days, hard cash is king, hard cold cash. They're going after it, they're going to stick the place up, and it's just classic stuff, isn't it?
It is. The bank robberies were fantastic in it, and we were saying about it that it reminded me a little bit. Recently watched that Hell or High Water,
great film,
and that had a similar premise that obviously must be inspired from something like this, of the
definitely.
small little banks that they go and rob and stuff. And I loved seeing the old banks with the old vaults, and they're spinning them around and opening them up and everything.
The size of that
classical
door when he opens it, it was like a foot of steel, wasn't it?
I was going, he's opening it very slowly, but then I was thinking, yeah, it probably weighs like 2 cars, you know.
Oh, God, yeah. Massive, massive thing. But yeah, it is great to see all that stuff. It's old world really now. And it's a world we grew up in, or it was sort of like, you know, that was still around when we were growing up. And in the 80s, well, for me in the 80s, for you in the 90s, but it's kind of dying off now, that sort of thing. It's all cryptocurrency and, you know, hackers and cyber thieves. The bank robbery is not the same sort of thing anymore, especially in the movies. But, you know, there's a great tradition of 70s crime films from, you know, everything from The French Connection through to like something like Straight Time with Dustin Hoffman and Emmett Walsh. That's a really great film. So there's loads to catch up on there. Badge 373, Robert Duvall, The Killer Elite, and The Outfit, films like this that we want to check out and catch up on. You know, as far as there not being too many hot new releases at the moment for us to get our teeth into, it's a good opportunity to go back and check out these ones from the classic era that we haven't seen yet. And I do love the 70s. I mean, Robert Mitchum in this is just absolute class through and through.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the standout. I mean, Robert Mitchum's performance is fantastic. It's as he always is, because as we've mentioned before, his voice is just so commanding and charismatic.
It's brilliant.
That gravelly, you know,
hard bastard,
and I love that. Yeah, and he's like this. He's like a lost soul, really, isn't he? In the film, like he doesn't really know what he's meant to do.
No, and
it's quite an interesting character. Peter Boyle, of course, in it is that slimy bastard.
Absolute son of a bitch, yeah. He's great, though, isn't he? He's great at it.
He is.
And it's lovely to see Peter Boyle in it. I mean, he was in a lot of those films from the 70s, usually just having those bit parts, like in Taxi Driver. He's in it, you know, a little bit. You see him here and there. And he pops up in stuff. But in this film, he had a bit more of a substantial role, which is great. I also love to see Richard Jordan as well. This is a truly forgotten movie star and TV star. He did a lot of television as well. But you go back to that era, 70s and 80s, he was in everything. If Richard Jordan wasn't in it, you know, what's going on? And I think his role in this is brilliant. He's such again, a son of a bitch. That bit where he bursts in on those guys that, well, they're all got their ski masks on, ready to go out and do the robbery. I was cracked up by that. I thought it was brilliant.
April Fool, motherfuckers.
I mean, that was the interesting part of the film, really, that you didn't really know where it was going in terms of surprising you in terms of the plot and stuff. There was many times I was there going, what's happening? You know,
where are we going now?
By surprise.
What's going to happen?
Which I thought was pulled off brilliantly.
You could see that sort of influence from things like Mean Streets and stuff like that. That ending obviously reminded me of the ending of Mean Streets. It's the same sort of deal, really. Not quite as graphic as Scorsese's debut feature there, but certainly that same sort of thing. It's a gone era now. It's over. It's finished. All of that stuff. Most of the people that were in it are dead. You know?
Yeah, because there's one to mention. Obviously, Stephen Keats, who plays the gun runner.
Yeah.
Jackie in it, and he was fantastic in it. And sadly, we mentioned him a couple of weeks ago in one of our history articles. He died in 1994. He's only 49. Apparent suicide.
Sure,
but this was his first film. He was in Death Wish and The Gambler and a few others over the years.
He's one of those faces. A lot of people who really love movies, even if they didn't know his name, they'd know his face, and it's that guy.
Him,
But he's great in this, isn't he? He's really cool in Friends of Eddie Coyle.
But it's all that stuff we talked about this before, about things like The Warriors, for example, that era, where it's shot, you know, in this case, it's shot in Boston. You see all the skylines, the gritty realness of it all.
Yeah.
It's hard to do now. we've talked about you couldn't really film a film like that in New York anymore.
No.
The same would probably apply here. It's hard to pull off, but they do, and it looks fantastic. It's very physical and real.
Yeah.
Again, alluding to the French Connection, the cars. There's a few moments
those
where
cars,
there's chases and
there's some great crashes and some great car chases in there. And that's another great feature of these kind of 70s crime films, is that they had great car chases, usually great car crashes as well. And, you can really hear that steel getting ground up and smashed together and all that glass smashing. That's gone now, because if you look at something modern like Fast and the Furious, obviously they crash cars and stuff in there, but everything looks super slick. Even the way the cars flip are done to a point where it's meant to look, aesthetically perfect. Whereas when you watch this old 70s stuff, it was like they were running and gunning, and they were just, shoot the shit out of everything. Probably got several cameras going, and these stunt drivers were just incredibly talented, and they just went for it and did these crashes for real.
That's it.
But that's why I like these films. They're very realistic. They're from a bygone era that is long gone now. But there's a whole wealth of material there to lean upon in the 70s in terms of these great crime films. And Friends of Eddie Coyle is definitely up there. Didn't you say it had 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's definitely critically applauded. So it's definitely one to go and watch. Criterion have done a remaster recently, so which is what we were watching. So go check that out. It's well worth watching. It looked great. It had been scanned and stuff and touched.
Lovely
up.
picture.
And, there was the one thing I've got to mention. The other thing I really enjoyed about it was the masks they were wearing.
Oh yeah,
during the bank robberies.
Sure,
because of course it was like that plastic see-through mask.
Yeah,
so it kind of obscured their face.
Yeah,
but from a distance, you wouldn't even tell they were wearing a mask, so to speak. Yeah, and I thought it was really clever. And sinister in the film. It was
very sinister, very sinister looking. To see them all sitting there in the car with the masks on, and they've pulled their beanie hats on top of them. It's classic, isn't it? It's like, that's how you rob banks in the 70s, guys.
That's how you do it.
Great film, though. Really great to catch up on it. Like Dave says,
really was.
If you get the chance, get hold of the Criterion copy of it, because it's a beautiful picture and it looks ace. So in other news this week, there's been a picture released from the forthcoming Scorsese and DiCaprio picture, Killers of the Flower Moon. And the New York Post has reported Leonardo as looking unrecognizable in said picture. But irony being, of course, everybody can recognize him clearly. And so therefore, the New York Post are getting trolled online for... by people in very creative ways, which has been quite humorous to follow. Have you seen much about this?
I know about the film. It's been talked about for a little while now. It's obviously based on a non-fiction book by the American journalist David Gran. Mm-hmm. He wrote it in 2017. Scorsese's bought the book rights. So that's been adapted now. We got Leonardo DiCaprio, of course, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, a favourite of ours, and Lily Gladstone are going to be in it. It's apparently about a series of murders of wealthy Osage people that took place in Osage County, Oklahoma.
Okay.
In the early 1920s.
So it's kind of like a late Western, isn't it? It's late era Western.
Yeah. It's after big oil deposits were discovered on their land. So they're going out, trying to get the oil by killing the people and claiming the land, I guess.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Almost There Will Be Blood or something like that,
Yeah, definitely a bit of that in there. Yeah, sure.
In terms of the subject, it sounds very interesting. I haven't seen this picture yet, so I'm going to have a look at this.
Yeah, well, you have a look at that picture. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can clearly see it's Leonardo. I mean, if anything, I just thought he just had a few, bit less makeup. He had a few lines on his face, and he just looks a little bit older. That's all. But other than that, it's clearly him. It's not like he's had any prosthetics or a wig or a bald cap or a beard, and that's what you'd expect when they say an unrecognizable Leonardo DiCaprio.
It just looks exactly like. Yeah, it looks exactly like him. Are they forgetting that this guy is 50? So
yeah, and also the fact
he's not going to have a fresh face.
He's also one of the most recognizable faces in the world. You know,
exactly.
Everybody knows what Leonardo DiCaprio looks like. Anyway, I thought to celebrate the fact that this has been happening this week, we would have a little quiz of guess the unrecognizable movie star. Are you up for this, Dave?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so
I'll go with it.
Yeah, we've got 10 images. So I want you to recognize who the actor is, and for a bonus point, also what film the still is from. Okay, so let's crack straight into it with image number 1. Who do you think that is, and what film do you think it was from? I don't want any of this reverse image searching going on. No cheating.
I don't know, to be honest. It's quite an old one, that one.
Well, actually, it's fooling you into thinking it's quite an old one, because it's actually not that old. It's from Young Frankenstein is the film, and the actor is Gene Hackman. He plays the blind man in it.
Oh, yes. Bloody hell.
See? Unrecognizable, Gene Hackman.
That's unrecognizable, yeah.
Okay, let's go to image number 2. This one's a tough one.
Oh.
Who do you think that is?
Is this a 90s film?
I think it's a little bit more modern than that.
Yeah, don't know.
Would you believe it? That is Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street.
Really?
Now,
oh, yes, of course.
If they'd showed that picture and said, and Johnny Depp, unrecognizable, you'd say, yeah, I wouldn't have even known it was Johnny Depp.
I forgot about that scene in Jump Street, yeah.
Okay, so far, nil point. Let's move on to image number 3.
Oh, well, that's, of course, Tom Cruise in, what's it called, Tropic Thunder.
Right, correctamundo, my friend. That is, of course,
classic.
Tom Cruise playing Uber executive producer Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. One of the greatest performances by Cruise, if you ask me.
It's his best modern performance.
It was really funny. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to picture number 4.
I know the actress is. I know the actress, but I can't remember her name. I think.
You want to take a stab at it? Do you want a clue?
Yeah, give us a clue.
Although the film is not Australian, the actress is Australian. I'll give you one more clue, and if you don't get out of this, I'm going to tell you the film is actually British.
It's is it 28 Days Later? Is this?
This is Cate Blanchett in Hot Fuzz.
Oh, Hot Fuzz. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the bit at the start where he goes to his girlfriend and they're all in the crime scene? That's actually Cate Blanchett playing her. Obviously, got the hazmat suit and on the mask on. Very hard to recognize. Not that easy. There we go. Let's move on. Picture number 5.
Oh, well, Planet of the Apes. This is the original. Is this Charlton Heston?
It is Charlton Heston. In which film?
Planet of the Apes.
Be more specific.
Oh, Rise of the Planet. No, I don't know which one.
It is Planet of the Apes, but I wanted the 2001 Tim Burton version, obviously not the original version, which you said something about earlier, because Charlton Heston is, of course, a human being in the original, not an ape man. I'll give you 2 points for that because you're doing so terribly so far. Okay, let's move on. Number 6.
Oh, my God. Those eyes look familiar.
They should be.
What the bloody hell is this?
Oh, Grandma. What big eyes you have. Oh, Grandma, what weird ears you have.
It's not like Teen Wolf or something.
No, it's not. I'll put you out of your misery. This is Keanu Reeves in the movie Freaked, playing the character of Ortiz, the dog boy.
I've seen that. I'd never have guessed that in a million years.
To be honest with you, without the research and looking into it and getting the quiz together, neither would I. Okay, let's go to the next picture, number 7. You should get this one.
Oh, what's his name?
Any ideas what the movie is?
Well, it's Hook, isn't it?
I'll give you a point for Hook.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking on the name. That's my problem. I'm terrible with names.
He's terrible with names unless he knows the names. Then he's good with names.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put you out of your misery. That is not a his, that's a hers. It's Glenn Close. Can you believe it? A little cameo there in Hook.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'd have never believed.
Okay, next picture. If you don't get this, I disown you. We're not friends anymore.
That's George Harrison.
It is George Harrison. What's the movie?
I believe it's Life of Brian, isn't it?
It is The Life of Brian, of course, and he produced that, Handmade Films. Of course, George Harrison was not only a movie star and a Beatle, but he was also a film producer, and he produced The Life of Brian. So there's his little cameo in there. There we go. Some of them have been very hard. I kind of thought you might get that one. Okay, let's move on to picture number 9. Who dat? Or should I say, who dis?
Is that Stephen Graham?
No. Stephen Graham. Fucking Stephen Graham. Don't look nothing like that, mate. Any idea on the film?
I don't, to be honest.
All right, I'll give you a clue. The film is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Is this... what's his name? Mike Myers.
It is Mike Myers. 1 point for Mike Myers. Okay, and the last one, image number 10.
Is that Matt Damon?
It is. Do you know what the film is?
I don't, to be honest.
How did you recognise him from that? I wouldn't have recognised him. Well done.
Oh, it's like by the structure by the side of the face up around the eyes. It kind of gives it away. He's got a head like a Lego figure to me.
Well, one of those bumps on the top that you can...
Yeah, if you take his hair off.
Matt Damon. So you don't know the film?
I don't
That's
know.
Deadpool 2. But you did get a point for Matt Damon. So 10 images, possibility of scoring 2 points per image. That will be 20 points. And you scored a total of 8 out of 20. Not bad.
Not awful.
Not awful. I was impressed you got Matt Damon there.
Most impressive.
They were very tricky.
Yeah.
Much more obscure than Leonardo DiCaprio.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing, you know. To be honest with you, even looking at Matt Damon there, you got him straight away. I wouldn't have. I would have been like, who's that? God, I don't know. I would have had to hear the voice like I did with Tom Cruise. But yeah, not bad, Dave. Not bad. Just under halfway there. 8 points out of 20. We'll get you again sometime.
Guess again.
Well done, though.
So we've had some more news this week on Top Gun 2 or Top Gun Maverick, which is coming out later this year in the summer, I believe. Of course, a sequel to the original from the 80s. The big thing coming out is the director's been talking about how the film is not just an action film, but it's a bit more of a character piece, which, don't know really what to make of that, really.
I don't know, really. I mean, Top Gun, it's a kind of a classic 80s film, but it's not my favourite 80s action film, to be honest. It's okay. I used to watch it a lot as a youngster because, you know, it's just one of those films, and it spawned a lot of, not sequels, but sort of spin-off films. There was things like Iron Eagle that came afterwards with Lou Gossett Jr. and stuff. And there was also one with Nicolas Cage a few years later called Wings of the Apache, which was basically Top Gun in helicopters. So it had a big influence, and Tom Cruise just sort of moved on, did other things, kept going, did all sorts. But all these years later, doing a sequel, I was kind of skeptical at first, and then I watched the trailer, and I didn't think it was too bad, to be honest. When I watched the trailer, I thought, oh, it was quite interesting. I mean, you know, we've been over this a couple of times on our podcast now. We're not the biggest Tom Cruise fans, but having said that, he's done some performances over the years in films, and I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely talented and brilliant in them. Top Gun wasn't one of them. So, you know, sequel here, character piece. Okay, maybe they're just saying that because, you know, they're going to delve into, what's happened to that character of Maverick since the 80s. I mean, it is like almost 40 years now since the first film. It's at least 35 years. So what's he been doing in 35 years since then? If he didn't get himself blown up by some Russians or some Iraqis or whatever, what's he up to?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I mean, we'll see it when it comes out, I guess, and see what it's about. I think the original, as you were saying, is one of them strange films because it's I'd almost describe it as a pop culture film.
Yeah,
it's everyone watches it, has seen it, you know, kind of thing. And we all have the references, the need for speed. You know.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
I went through the danger zone.
The soundtrack's great.
80s as
Maverick
fuck.
and all that. But apart from those kind of, everyone can reference them and they're used, but the film itself is just, yeah, it's all right, you know, but no, I wouldn't say it's special. Yeah, we'll see when it comes out, I guess. See what happens.
We'll give it a watch. We'll see what it's about. I to be honest, I am interested to see it. I don't think it's like looks that bad that I'm not interested to see it.
Yeah, I think I'm more intrigued to see it than anything else, to see what
they've done with it.
Do.
Yeah. There we go then. Top Gun 2, yay or nay? Let us know. Give us a comment. Do you like Tom Cruise? Do you like fast planes and character pieces? Let us know. So yeah, this week, as always, we've had lots of stuff out on the website. Check out the website, moremovies.co.uk, where you will find such things as our This Week in Film History article, which goes out every Monday, covers the week ahead in terms of the week that was, what's happened this week in film history over the years, births, deaths, events, releases, all stuff like that. That's always a fun one to check out. I also put out an article of our top 5 David Fincher films. So we've been doing quite a few different articles of our top 5 films from different directors. We're working through the Americans at the moment, but we will get to more international directors in the future. But yeah, this week was David Fincher. Do you like David Fincher? Have you seen all the films on our top 5? Check it out. Let us know.
Yeah, I've just also put out a Film in 5 review of Monos, a film from 2019. Really great film, well worth checking out. And got my review up on YouTube now. Link in the description below. We've also just put out an extended cut of our top 5 wrestling movies, which was part of our weekly show the other week. But we've got an extended talk special. That's out now on the YouTube channel. Link in the description below. And we've also been reacting this week to the new trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the trailer that's just dropped. That'll be out here on the YouTube channel in the next few days, so remember to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications so that you can keep an eye on when that comes out.
And come and join us on social media across all the platforms at More Movies For You, where we do such silly things as the movie of the day.
I'm telling you, man, they're out there, man. They're out there. Contact, man. It's all in there. Carl Sagan, Jodie Foster. Check it out.
A labba Diana and a mull of Kintyre to you, me wee barons. I have to confess, I do like a submarine movie, and one of the best is The Hunt for Red October. It stars Sean Connery, and he plays a Lithuanian, but really, deep down inside, in his soul, he's still Scottish.
Today's movie of the day is Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. I like this film so much, I've seen it at least 3 times. I mean 3 times. No, wait, don't shoot.
And that's it for another week, Dave. I think we're done there. Thanks for joining us at home. Be sure to subscribe, as Dave said, on the YouTube channel so you know when we're bringing out videos, etc. Check out the website. There's lots of movie-related fun on there, articles, reviews, the rest of it. And hopefully we'll see you again next week on More Movies Weekly. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for checking it out. Remember to like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube and press the bell icon for notifications. You can see more of our news, reviews, and articles on our website, moremovies.co.uk. And be sure to follow us on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them, at More Movies For You. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can support us at buymeacoffee.com, link in the description. And to check out more of our fantastic content, click on one of the buttons on screen now.